Home streets! Home streets! Home streets! Home streets! It's
He invited us on his property to talk, but when he doesn't like our conversation, he explodes.
Get the out of here now!
The front line in the fight against coronavirus. Patient after patient struggling to breathe. This morning has been brutal.
Today is pretty intense. We've had a bunch of people die.
Welcome to New York City's first ever pandemic drive-in theater. At $32 a car, patrons get films like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And after ordering online, they get masked car hops.
Have you ever been to a drive-in movie before?
This is my first time.
Yeah, no, I've never been to one.
Welcome to the pinnacle of entertainment in 1955.
What are the big issues you want to hear about?
Everyone goes to these town halls to ask the same question, which is, how are you going to make my life better?
And that is what our campaign is about.
Yeah. Once it's swung again, it's going to create a pattern that's called cast-off. We can tell by the shape of those blood drops approximately where they originated from.
He asked me to tell him everything about myself. You know, he'd lean in, okay, tell me about your dad. You know, I tell him about my dad. Tell me about your mom. How many brothers and sisters do you have? Where were you born?
She says she told him she had been physically abused as a child.
I did not know that he was just trying to find my vulnerabilities so he could exploit them. I just thought he cared so much about me.
When he heard a call for organ donors, he stepped up and said he would give a kidney no matter who needed it.
There's no real impetus. It's not that someone in particular was sick or any one story. Knowing that it's going to make such a big difference is a pretty good feeling.
Turns out the recipient was surprisingly a fellow public servant.
I was a young, healthy guy. I was a firefighter. I was, active in duty and responding to calls. All of a sudden, here I am, I'm the guy who's sick, and you're not used to being the guy that's sick.
Well, the internet obsessed over little things. How in the hell is that flip-flop staying on?
Then there was the woman who tweeted wondering if Mercedes had gotten a new hood ornament. Occasionally, even the real Donald Trump projects a little too far into the future.
Make sure you get out and vote November 28th.
But the all-seeing Trump is no dummy. He knows Election Day is November 8th. Ginny Mo, CNN.
Of the two of you, I only want the attractive one to come up to the booth.
New York.
It regained strength overnight, went back to a major hurricane, a Category 3 storm with 115-mile-an-hour winds.
There's a trash fire here. There's another trash fire down the street. There's a fire truck here. At one point, this fire truck couldn't get through because this group of protesters, which has been running around Manhattan from Times Square to Chelsea to now here on 14th Street, basically on their own.
It is almost 4 hours now of nonstop snow. The snow is only getting heavier, the wind is only getting stronger, and it is filling up these streets and these sidewalks even faster than they can clear this snow off. This is the museum workout.
It's something that we've been working on for 3 years.
It's a hybrid dance workout museum tour.
It's a physical journey through the museum, and we're inviting people to experience the museum in a totally new way.
The thing that was going through my mind mostly was, this is a completely unique experience that I'm never going to do ever again.
By apparently a bear and her 2 cubs. It looks like claw marks to me. That was the top of my center console. I don't know what they were going after, but there was something that they liked. They took a swipe at that as well.
I'm shocked. I didn't imagine that wildlife would have or could have done this.
The door doesn't really stay open, and so it locked them in. And that's when they really got frantic. The headliner is all torn down. You can see that they were scratching to get out.
Oh my, what's that?
Yeah, well, that's from the dash.
This man served his country, he served his community. For the community to gather today to pay their final respects to himself, it's important to be here. Hey, flag up. Good job, Scout.
I'm a Flight for Life pilot. He died in the crash. His body is coming. We're honoring his life.
I have a bilateral mastectomy with reconstruction. Even though my scars have faded, it's still the first thing I see when I look in the mirror.
We got one cat down.
All right. I'm gonna get some beautiful artwork to cover my mastectomy scars. Got a numb spot there.
We are transforming their lives through art.
Now, today, I can take that back. I can take control back. I can celebrate my body in a way that I choose, that's personal and meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that was
That's okay.
that was a tough one. Tattooing isn't a pleasant experience. It's very painful. It's toe curling time.
For real.
Almost there, baby.
Runners ready, burros ready, go!
Always been fun to see how it's going to start off.
Let's hear it for the runners!
It's interesting. Sometimes it works out like it's supposed to, and sometimes it doesn't.
All right, come on, Apache.
The Denver Crime Lab tested his gun, just like they do in every case.
Any firearms, we'll test fire them to generate samples.
Did the rocket take off?
No.
I think like the rocket is either in like that area of buildings over there.
There it is, there it goes.
That is so cool.
Big dreams don't happen alone. Long before they come to fruition, we share them with those we love and trust.
He told me he loved me and that I was his best friend. And he said, thank you for being my guardian when I needed it and being my mom when I needed to be set straight.
Taylor was the boy who stole his mother's heart.
That captivating smile that he had, that mischievous little smirk he has, that was him. He would light up a room, he'd walk in and not know anybody, and all of a sudden everybody was drawn to him.
Drawn to big ideas, Taylor made his list as a teenager. Number 1, join the Army. Mom resisted at first.
And I just said, go forward. Be this protector. I know you're going to succeed.
Goal met. Number 13, get a job. Taylor chose Colorado State Trooper.
He put his mind to it, and nothing was going to stop him. And he was going to be the top. He was going to be the best of the best.
Speeds are 100 miles per hour.
On May 23rd, Taylor was almost at the end of his cadet training.
See if I can get him to come through the intersection.
And was on a ride-along with Trooper Clinton Rushing.
Taylor had texted me that day at 7:30 and said, I'm at an accident at Highway 1 and Highway 66.
Just passing County Road 7.
Warned of a chase coming their way, the cadet and trooper deployed stop sticks. The driver didn't stop. Both men were hit.
At that time, I screamed. I just screamed, no. Not him. Please, not him.
Taylor died at the scene. Trooper Rushing was critically hurt. A tow truck driver also there wasn't hurt. He said Taylor shouted at him to get out of the way.
He died a hero. He saved a man's life so he can go home to his little ones.
Save a life. Goal number 9 achieved. Just not how his mom expected.
When I found out exact details of how it happened, I went into his room and repeatedly said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the way you went. I'm sorry it was so violent. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry that I couldn't protect you from it.
There were so many more goals, many only the two of them knew about.
Looking through his phone, I was the one that he inadvertently spoke to last.
Their conversation wasn't supposed to end. Carol tried to keep it going.
I would text him just to keep in touch with him.
I got a few real short ones. I love you, I miss you, that type of stuff, and I just ignored them.
One night in particular, just having a really bad night, just telling him I love you and I miss you and please come see me.
And then I got a very heartfelt one.
That's when she got a response.
He said, I'm a sergeant with the Greeley Police, and I told him who I was.
And then it was like the breath got sucked out of me because the reply was about Taylor and about the accident.
Sergeant Cal Halsey had a new phone with a new number. Turns out it was Taylor's old number. He offered to change the number. Carol asked him not to. After all, he was doing what Taylor wanted to do.
He never got to experience all the great things of this job. I have got to do that, and I think it's good for me to remember all the great things that, all the wonderful things he was looking forward to.
Everything he dreamed of too. 33 years ago as a new officer.
It's like I always have a little angel in my pocket now.
And so the conversation didn't end. And while Taylor never got the chance to reach many of his goals, as fate would have it, he did find a way to accomplish number 22.
He's still trying to make a difference.
I never want them to forget Taylor Tifo.
And so the list goes on.